Hey everybody, GVB the Mind Warrior today in the dojo. A bit more casual than normal. I want to talk today about mentors. The right person at the right time. This is such a massive thing because if you can find, your life can be going off the rails, you can be struggling through hardships, you can be feeling alone and completely without help. But if you can just find the right person at the right time, your life can change forever. I had that when I was in kindergarten. I was being berated by the teachers. I was told I was a failure, that I was a worthless kid, that I had no future. But then I found when I was kicked out of class, I got sat in next to the principal's office, next to the office secretary, Mrs. White. And she realized that I wasn't a bad kid. She became a friend of mine and started helping me, making me see that I had potential and had a future, and that I actually had some spirit. And she was the first one to tell my parents that this boy has character. If you can harness the energy, there's nothing that he won't be able to do. The right person at the right time. Because that changed my life. That turned my mindset around from thinking that I was a failure and that I was worthless into thinking that maybe there was potential out there for me. And this happened time and time again during my life. I made sure that I would find somebody who was the master of the area that I was looking to go to. So when it came to bodybuilding, I worked really hard. I got myself good enough to the point so I could go to America and train with the professionals. When it was martial arts, I made sure I worked myself through to the very best martial artists and headed across to the Shaolin Temple in China. I made sure that when I was doing movies, I made my films and I kept escalating, becoming better and better and better until I ended up working alongside my work colleague and my dear friend, Dr. George Miller. Doing films like Happy Feet 1, Happy Feet 2 and directing on those and being the fight choreographer and weapons specialist on the new Mad Max Fury Road film. With no training, except my own. With no expertise, no college degrees. Just my own spirit and guts and determination and want to fight for what I wanted. Well, everybody was out partying and having a great time. I was at home diligently working towards my ambitions because I knew that if I didn't do that work that I wouldn't make it, because I knew that there were other people out there as dedicated as me, and if I didn't put in extra work on top of that to beat them, that I'd never get through. The right mentor at the right time can make a world of difference. But if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling like you haven't got anybody, start reaching out because they're out there. You've just got to find them. Even if you can't find people in the same area, just find people that are going in a positive direction. That's a start. Then as you start moving through and developing your skill sets and start bettering yourself, you can start working yourself towards the people that are heading in the same space as you. And then you work together. The right mentor, the right person at the right time can change your life. And when you get to a point where you're happy with yourself and the way you've been working and the way you've developed yourself and you've become an expert in your field, as we would call the subject matter expert, then you become the mentor for somebody else. Because you're never a leader until you've led. And so you need to lead others, but you can only lead others when you're at a point where you're ready to lead. You have to experience enough in your life and done enough things to be at a point where you're comfortable to impart that knowledge on other people. But at the same time, as a leader and as a teacher, you have to be willing to allow other people's opinions to come in and filter those through and see, because there might be a new angle, new direction that you mightn't have thought of yet. So you have to be malleable. So learn. If you're finding it hard, if you're working through hard times, if you're trying to get to a goal or driving towards being something, try and find the right person, the right mentor to help you along the way. Because on the flip side of that, you're going to help them. People that teach realize that your students will teach you more than you ever thought you could know. So it's a two-way street, and it's an important one to be on. So don't stand on the sidewalk of life. Get into it. Fight for what you want. Life's worth it. Life can be great. Enjoy it, but make the time worthwhile. GVB the Mind Warrior. You guys have a great week. Later.